Hi everybody, and thanks for clicking play. My name is Jesse Hill, and I'm the owner and president of Tier 3 IT Solutions. And I'm here today with Jeff Buer, the Director of Development for the Alberta North Stars Foundation. And his role is to work with corporate partners to raise money to keep these wonderful life-saving helicopters in the sky. And I wanted to come and meet with him and chat with him a little bit today because STARS is very near and dear to our hearts and part of our core corporate giving in our organization. So hello, thank you for taking the time for me.
Thank you so much for coming out today, and just thank you to everybody at your organization for all the support you've provided STARS over the years.
Yeah, we were talking before the video was rolling about how important these helicopters are, and the way that they came to be in Alberta is really an interesting story. So do you want to share just a quick little history about where STARS came from and where it's headed?
Yeah, well, of course. So STARS was started in about 1985 by our founder, Greg Powell, and a few partners of his. And basically the idea just came that he was tired of watching patients die who weren't located in kind of our major city centers. That when people were in rural areas, it greatly decreased their ability to survive certain things that they would have survived if they were closer to critical care. And so with that idea in mind, he kind of took that and ran with it, and that's what kind of the seeds that STARS was born from a single helicopter that received, again, right from the start, community support. The Lions were actually a huge supporter of us to begin with. And just kind of grew from there. And from that single helicopter, single base based in Calgary, we now have 6 bases in 3 provinces, flying 11 helicopters, on an average of 8 missions a day.
Wow, and I love the story of STARS because I think as it's become this institutional thing that we're used to, a lot of Albertans don't realize how special it is that it was truly an innovative solution to a problem that Dr. Powell really launched on his own. I mean, with that initial group, it wasn't like the government came in and jumped behind it and got it going. So it's an amazing problem-solving story.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, the government's been a great partner for us, but especially in Alberta, we do really depend on that community support. And even to this day, we're still 80% funded through the community.
Yeah.
So only 20% of our funding comes through government on an annual basis. Everything else is done through donors, through individuals, through corporations, through foundations, and it really makes us something special.
Wow. So you mentioned an average of 8 missions a day. So what is a mission? What does that mean?
So that means our crew's going out, and well, I'm certainly not one of the people on those flights. I do speak to our pilots and our medical crew frequently, and I will say that I don't think that there is an average mission.
Right.
That's the reality of what we deal with. We truly are a flying critical care unit right there in the helicopter, and so that means we go where people are the sickest.
Yeah.
And so our 2 kind of big types of missions we fly are scene calls, and so that would be an accident on the roadway, or a job site accident, or something out in the field where we're really going. And especially in the north, we might be the first responder in that case. We might be the only responder in that case. And then we also do what are called inter-facility transfers, and so those tend to be hospital to hospital. And so when somebody's having an issue at a rural facility that aren't quite able to provide the level of care needed, we're able to get there fast and get that patient to a location where they can get the care that they require.
So it's amazing. And for those of you who don't know, STARS is an acronym for Shock, Trauma, Air Rescue Society, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
I got it right.
Yeah.
STARS became an important part of Tier 3's history when one of our family friends had their son actually involved in a head-on motor vehicle collision just south of Leduc. And I mean, ultimately, STARS responded. They transported him from that scene to the hospital, and had he not received that care, it's almost certain that he would have passed and he would not have been able to grow up into the young man that he is today. I was looking actually on the other side of this helicopter, on the tail wing, he has a sticker on there because he has raised I think $1 million is what
Okay, yeah.
what it goes on there. So amazing support. And for us, we just feel like STARS is one of those things that I never want to use, I never want to experience, but if somebody that I know needs it, I want it to be there. And with this funding model, particularly in Alberta and Saskatchewan, where it's primarily corporate donors that are keeping, there's also, calendar sales and all those types of things that happen. One of the things that made it really easy for us, or really meaningful for us, was when they came up with their Fund to Flight program.
Yeah.
And we've been involved for, I think, about 7 years now. And it's really cool because every year, do you want to show them?
Yeah, of course.
So every year what we do now is we send a check to STARS, and they give us one of these plaques. And do you want to tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, so the simple fact is that we can't put a price on the service we provide. I mean, when we're out, when our crews are out doing their missions, I mean, they're saving people's lives. They're giving people hope in some of their darkest days. I mean, so you can't put a price on that.
No.
However, we do know roughly what it costs every time we fly. And while I say that there's no average mission, the fact is that we do have some statistics that kind of give us a sense of what it costs to be out there. Basically, for every second this helicopter is in the air, it costs about $1.
Oh.
And our average mission is about 90 minutes.
Okay.
And so that, if you do the math, it works out to about $5,400 every single time you see one of these flying overhead.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gives us the idea to create kind of a Fund to Fight program where we can actually tie people's support to individual missions.
Yes.
So that's what this plaque represents here. Is it really does give us a tangible tool to show that we're not. When we say that community support saves lives, we mean it. This plaque points to an incident that happened on August 17th, 2019, where we responded to a motor vehicle collision in Vegreville. And it was thanks to the support of Tier 3 IT Solutions that we were able to fund that flight and save that person's life. So,
yeah.
I mean...
And I love these because when I take this back to the office, I gather the team and I show them that although we come in and we fix network problems and support users on computer issues, we actually were able to make a difference in somebody's life that day. It doesn't tell us any personal information about the person, right? But the fact is that they needed help, and STARS was able to go there that day because, partly because of the support that we gave them. So it really means a lot to us. What's next for STARS? What are the big initiatives that you're pushing on right now?
Well, yeah, and first of all, just before I talk about that, I do just want to mention, again, one of the reasons why I love these plaques is that we've talked about our crew, we've talked about what we call our allies, so for donors and supporters, and then we have what we call our VIPs, our very important patients. And really, that's the reason why all of us here do our jobs.
Yeah.
And so again, these plaques really just tie that support to an individual VIP, and that's where it really means so much to us here at STARS.
Yeah.
But then to answer your actual question on what comes next, so currently, in addition to funding our day-to-day operations, and like I said, we have we have exactly 6 bases in 3 provinces, and each of those bases costs approximately $10 million a year to run.
Wow.
And so again, doing the math on that, significant amount of money. However, one of our current challenges is the fact that we've had a very reliable, dependable fleet that we've used pretty much since the inception of STARS.
Yes.
So that was 35 years ago, and
that's one of these, right?
Yeah. It's a great example of that. I don't know the exact age of this one, but these were built in the 1980s. Incredible machines. Our crews absolutely love them.
Yeah.
But as one of our pilots likes to say, it's like comparing a car from the 1980s to one today. And the technology and some of the innovation isn't necessarily there. And as well, these are legacy aircraft, which means they're no longer being made, which means parts are becoming harder and harder to find.
Sure.
And so we're currently in the process of looking to replace our entire fleet. And so currently we have 11 helicopters, both the BKs and also some AWs as well, across our 6 bases. and we're replacing all of those with 9 brand new H145s.
Is that one of those ones?
No, so that's another AW over there.
Okay. Behind us, there's, what do we have here? I think we have 4 or 5 helicopters in this hangar right now. This is the Edmonton base, so they do most of their maintenance here. And that one, it looks a lot different than this one, but there's something even better coming down the pipe.
Yeah, so that's just it. So Edmonton, just because of our hangar space, we do tend to do a lot of our heavy maintenance. And so we're a bit of an anomaly. You won't normally see this many of our helicopters in one place. But that's one of the special things about our Edmonton base. And so yeah, our H145s, we're currently in the process of fundraising for them, but just because of the lead time it takes to deliver them all, we actually have received our first 3. So 2 are based in Calgary right now, and we've got 1 in Saskatoon as well.
Awesome.
And so we're expecting to have the rest of the fleet in place, I believe by the summer of 2022. That number changes a bit as different things impact.
Yeah, there are lots of things that go into it, but the point is that they'll be here in the next couple of years.
Exactly, yeah, and really taking us into the to that kind of that next stage. And so they, in a lot of, they are actually kind of the improved version of the BKs. So something our crew's already very familiar with. They're tested. We know what they're capable of. But this is just kind of the next generation, bringing that new technology, that new innovation that is not in the older aircraft.
And this is a totally different technology, but I mean, obviously we're big believers in technology and innovation and, efficiency improvement and those types of things. And so the one thing that I would just stress to you, if you're watching this, you're probably a client of ours. So thank you for your support of our business that allows us to support STARS. If you're looking for a way to get your business more involved in some form of corporate sponsorship, I love the Fund a Flight program, because you get something tangible and it makes a real difference in people's lives. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I can connect you with Jeff, and we can get you in line to support this amazing cause. Thanks again for watching. Thank you, Jeff.
No, thank you
so much. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right, see ya.